Guns O has to go. So here we have the first chief support. We have the battle of the undefeated. We have Miles Shinkwin in the red corner, 8 wins, 3 KOs, versus Joel McIntyre, 11 wins, 1 KO. This is for the vacant light heavyweight Southern area title. And as we said, someone else got to go. I'm really looking forward to this, Menno.
This one should be a cracker. So we've got Miles Shinkwin in the black shorts with the green lighting. And we've got Joel McIntyre, black shorts, yellow waistband. Let's get it on.
And both fancy this fight really much. There's a split decision between how people think he's going to go in the boxing thing. There's a nice counter from Shinkwin. I've been a fan of Shinkwin. I haven't seen much of McIntyre, I must admit. Obviously Shinkwin's fought on a few of the good win shows before, so I've seen a bit of him. I know McIntyre was pushed by Darren McKenna close a couple of times. And Shinkwin's come off of a few wins and knockouts in his last fights as well. I rate Miles Shinkwin very highly. I think he's a class operator. But there's a lot of people that rate McIntyre. That's a nice right hand from Shinkwin there. McIntyre takes it well, man. It's opened up really nicely.
It has, definitely has. Shinkwin just finding his range, so is McIntyre. But he's putting Shinkwin on the back foot at the minute. Just edging him back.
Shinkwin's getting off first though. Shinkwin's being the one that's throwing first. McIntyre's holding that right hand up. He's looking to throw that right hand through, but Shinkwin so far is getting his shots off, and McIntyre just misses with the jab and right hand there. Nice jab again from Shinkwin, and McIntyre misses with the left hook. Shinkwin just touches with his. Just seems a little bit lighter on his feet. Shinkwin so far. McIntyre's looking to pour that left hand out, trying to get it in the face just to cover the sight of Shinkwin. Looking for the left hook, right hand, Shinkwin just missing now. Both have sold a lot of tickets. Mene, both crowds being loud. Jeff Ryan's having a little words here, and this could be a cracker, this one.
This could be a cracker. It's a great atmosphere in that in a minute. You've got Jeff Ryan's referee. Good old referee in the middle there.
Nice double jab right hand from Shinkwin there, and McIntyre looks to throw that left hand up, and I think Shinkwin could throw that right hand as he moves forward. Looks to throw that right hand to the body, because it looks like McIntyre's open to that right to the body where he's pouring that left hand out. I think there's a gap there if Shinkwin drops underneath and throws the right hook to the body, and McIntyre's just having a little look. He's not giving too much away in the first round, and that's a smart move from McIntyre. Just having a little look. Nice little body shot there from McIntyre. And some good body shots there from McIntyre as well. Good inside work from McIntyre there. Nice jab again from Shinkwin. McIntyre's definitely trying to keep that hand nice and in the sight, but Miles Shinkwin with his hands low style. That's just his style, Shinkwin, isn't it?
It is, from day one he's been like that.
Obviously both tentative, just falling short of the right hand there, McIntyre, just reaching. Again, he's keeping that hand out. Nice movement there from McIntyre, just spinning off. And a good opening first round. How have you scored that one, Menno? As you can see on your screens now, if you're watching via Boxing MC, you can see we've got the infographic come out. Obviously Miles Shinkwin having 8 fights, 3 knockouts, boxed 30 rounds. He's ranked number 11, Mene, on the box rec. Joel McIntyre had more fights, he's had more rounds, he's had less knockouts, and he's actually ranked lower in the box rec ranking, that is, as much as what you can take that for, and that's why it's a good fight. That's why we've been looking forward to this. Quite evenly matched. How have you seen it? How did you score that round? Did you give it to Shinkwin in the first round?
Yeah, I'll say you could just give it to Shinkwin. He picked him a few shots, and it seemed like McIntyre was just finding his range, you know.
I'm saying McIntyre's stoppage victory, his last stoppage victory was in Portsmouth way back in 2012, and Shinkwin's last stoppage victory come just as little as March of this year. So it suggests that the stoppage wins just lately have come from Shinkwin, but we was talking off air, Menno, just before this, that we know McIntyre has hurt a few people in sparring, and we know he's a strong kid. And again, second round's just started nice and... The left hook there just missing from Shinkwin. Again, just the jab, just winning the jab exchange. A left hook getting in there, but good movement from Shinkwin, and Shinkwin looking to fight on the inside there. And the crowd get up behind it, man, eh? I mean, fair play to both these boxers, but it's a southern area, so it's, you know, it's a good title to fight for, and fair play to both boxers putting their undefeated titles on the line. Sometimes the southern area is contested between, you know, not necessarily pedigree records. The southern area tends to be the one where you get your first sort of test as such, but it's unusual you find two unbeaten fighters fight for the southern area, so credit has to go to both of these fighters when they've taken a fight.
Definitely does.
Good work there from Shinkwin, but good defensive work from McIntyre, not much of it getting, and body work of his own there, McIntyre, and he's straight back with his hand in the face of Shinkwin. And Shinkwin relies on his reactions, doesn't he? Hands down, relies on his feet.
And the thing is, McIntyre should be faking the shot and popping the jab, but instead he's just holding the hand out, and Miles can read that and just slipping it.
I'd like to see him use that left hand as a weapon rather than just putting it out.
That's it.
Just use it as a jab, and I was chatting to Miles before, just go short that right hand. The crowd think it was more on the glove, and there's good shots there from Shinkwin, just catches McIntyre as he comes forwards. So I was chatting to Shinkwin just before, and he said this is the first fight of his whole pro career that he's actually got up for. He was really fired up for this one. He was really looking forward to this one. He just switches here. Nice left hand again, and again, two left hands, got straight through. Took it well though, McIntyre. He's got a nice high guard, McIntyre. It'd be hard to catch him clean, won't it, Rene?
It is, definitely. He needs to get busier on the jab instead of just fencing with the lead hand, you know, because Miles can read that easily. That's nothing for Miles at the minute.
He's had a little bit of success on the inside, McIntyre, hasn't he? In close is where he's had most of his work. At the moment, Shinkwin at distance has been getting his shots off first. His reactions have been that little bit quicker. Lovely shot, lovely 1-2 there. And that's what Miles does very well. If you notice, he moves his feet. He never really sets his feet. He's constantly moving his opponent, stopping his opponent from setting the feet. And a good round. Have you scoring it 2 rounds to Shinkwin, or?
Definitely. So 2-0.
So let us know what you think of the fight so far, guys. Do you think it's close? Do you think Miles or Joe are coming up in front? Tweet us in, #Commie versus Buckland, and let us know what you're thinking about the fight so far. Thank you.
So as Matt says, those of you that's watching the stream online, if you got to it, are getting in contact. #Commie Buckland and Boxing Evolution. As we said before, we're at sold out York Hall. It's very, very warm. This is for the vacant Southern Area light heavyweight title. Miles Shinkwin undefeated versus Joel McIntyre, also undefeated. We scored it 2 rounds to Shinkwin, or Mene Edwards, who's joining me here today, is scoring it 2 rounds. But no one's really landed anything of real notice, no one seems to be hurt, and it's warming up into a great contest. A good flurry exchange straight away. Body shot from McIntyre. He's been fired up by his corner here, McIntyre, and sent out.
Well, I think they know that he lost the first 2 rounds, so he doesn't want him to be trailing too far behind halfway through the fight. So he's better to get the rounds back himself now.
That could be what they said. As we said before, McIntyre's had the better of it. That's a nice right hand from Shinkwin. Lovely 1-2 there from Shinkwin.
Good shot.
And that may be why they fired him out. At distance, at long, it's Shinkwin that's getting the better of him. His reactions is better, he's landing, but in close, McIntyre's are better, and that's maybe what his corner saw and just sent him out.
And he's supposed the distance, and he just can't stand at the end of his fencing. And he's too flat-footed trying to get him too. You know, he needs to throw him off feints and little steps in.
Maybe needs to try and rough up Shinkwin maybe and try and get him to fight his kind of game rather than a nice right to the body there, just getting through. A little nod of appreciation from Shinkwin there, 2 jabs back from Miles. A jab back of his own from McIntyre. A nice right to the body again from McIntyre. Obviously we talked about Shinkwin's movement, Mene. Will that start to slow as the rounds go on? Will he move less? Will McIntyre get close to him?
I don't think, I think he's throwing his range at the moment, especially if Charles is throwing the one shot, then what's there for him not to see?
Again, body work on the inside from McIntyre. He gets in with the left hand there, he switches to southpaw. Shinkwin calls him on. And then feints, and they both really want this. And they was at the weigh-in yesterday, they were both really respectful. They're both good pros, good honest pros. And it's a good fight, and this is what British boxing needs, more fights like this. And
most definitely does, most definitely does.
Jab there from McIntyre, and I think it's a bit of a closer round this time. Shinkwin hasn't landed as much. McIntyre's done a little bit better body work. The pace has just slowed slightly in this third round. A good jab again there from McIntyre. Shinkwin comes in with two, just misses and just tries to get the left hook to the body. Just falls short slightly. So it's very, very warm, and that could have a factor. And heads come together slightly left of the body. And Shinkwin, he switched a few times. We've seen that's been a bit of a theme tonight, Mene, people switching.
He definitely does, and Miles does that quite a bit, and he's effective with it. And like I say, he's got his hands down, he's throwing his range really well. McIntyre needs to double up the attacks. He can't just throw single shots, because Miles just seems to slip it.
So scheduled for 10 rounds. Now, it's really, really hot in here. It's hard to explain to people watching at home how hot it is here this evening. Do you think that will have a factor as the rounds go on?
Definitely, as the rounds goes on, it just saps the energy out of him, as a fight gets later.
So have you scored that round?
I'll say that's another round to Miles. Even though Joe come out quite flyable, but Miles just seems to find his range really well with simple shots. I think McIntyre needs to step on the gas, just a touch, not too much, but double up the shots. Not just a simple shot getting in there, there's no point.
So again, I was chatting to Miles beforehand, and he doesn't reckon he was going to lose a round. And we scored it 3 rounds to 0 so far. Like I say, you can just see on your cameras now just how packed it is. We did say it was a sellout crowd, and as you can see there now, it is a very, very packed. It's very, very warm, and we're enjoying it so far. And again, round 4 and a low blow there from Shinkwin, and ref calls timeout. Both come and met each other in the centre of the ring there, Mene, at the start of this round.
You can tell they both want this fight. They really do. No one's wants to go.
Good right to the body there from Shinkwin, and Jeff Hines trying to jump out the way, and a 1-2 just missing. But a nice counter left hook and a jab there from Shinkwin. And he's getting a little bit closer now, McIntyre. He's starting to land a little bit more. He has started to close the distance as Miles' movement has just slowed slightly.
This is where Miles has to sink in some body shots and grapple him up, like tie him up and throw the odd shot here and there, then put it back at distance.
A left hook from McIntyre just missing there, and a nice jab there from McIntyre. Rocks the head back as Shinkwin. The left hook just cuts as Miles moves away. Just missing there, both guys just missing. And you can hear the crowd away to our left and right, men, they shouting all kinds of instructions. A nice slip left counter there from Shinkwin, a nice right hand there, just sent McIntyre back. And out comes the left hand of McIntyre again. And that sounded worse than it did. I think it was just the arms clashing together there. And again, as we expected, the pace is slowed slightly. Just lost his gum shield there. And Miles nearly took advantage, but refs had a little word there. McIntyre lost his gum. Bit of a weird situation though. I've never seen it before. It just kind of stopped and the ref didn't call it.
I wouldn't have stopped until the ref called it. Protect yourself at all times.
Absolutely. McIntyre just looking again, just exchange the jabs and just exchange a jab each there, and Shinkwin's now looking to slip on the inside and get that left uppercut one. That's a lovely left hook to the body. Just falling short, a right hook to the body of his own. The heads come together again. Jeff Hines just having a little word. This is what I like to see. Two prospects, two putting it on the line. A real 50-50 pick and fight. Just falling short there from Miles, but catches with the third one and just catches him again. Just slowing now as we go towards the end of the fourth round. So McIntyre has got a little bit closer this round as the pace slows. Are you still scoring it to Shinkwin this round, or do you think McIntyre's done better?
This round's a bit tight, you know, but I think if the pace slows down, it will suit Joe McIntyre more. And then he'll try and get inside, but Miles has to think of something to come up through the middle from that.
Just counter again there from McIntyre. Nice jab there from Shinkwin, and that's a difficult round to score. I think Shinkwin's just got it again. How do you think? Do you think McIntyre, or do you think Shinkwin licked it at the end?
Just licked it, just licked it.
Everyone's fanning themselves in here just to show how hot it is in the M&A. Everyone's fanning themselves here on a really, really hot summer's evening.
There's water dripping off the ceiling, it's that hot.
So here we go. We've got it 4 rounds to Shinkwin. We could make an argument it could be 3-1. We are in agreement that Shinkwin's getting back. He's got the better of the early round so far. McIntyre did get a little bit closer in that last round as the pace dropped slightly.
But do you think McIntyre knows that he's a few rounds down? Even though it's not on the official card, he's down, but to our view.
I would think so. I would think that you never can know. I'm a trainer, man. Sometimes you tend to see it a bit biasedly. You tend to see what your kid's doing rather than the other kid's doing. So it's very difficult to see. I think Shinkwin so far has been comfortably in the first, at least 3 of the rounds been comfortably. So they've got to know they're at least a couple of rounds down if you've given one to McIntyre. But it's 10 rounds, and that's a better right hook to the body from McIntyre. I think that's what McIntyre's got to do. I don't think he'll be able to outbox Shinkwin. I think at distance Shinkwin will have a better reactions. I think McIntyre's got to try and rough him up to see what you're doing out. You know, how good Shinkwin is. If you drag him into a bit of a war and you get close. And I think if you give Shinkwin space, I think if you give him time, I think he'll dance around and pick you off all day. But I think if you get on his chest and press him, I don't think anyone's done that to him yet, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. I'm not saying he wouldn't handle it, just saying I don't think anyone's done that to him.
It'd be interesting to see how he handles it.
And if his corner does think that McIntyre's behind, there's got to be a point where his corner will say to him, you've got to try something now. This isn't like one of the fights we see earlier where you've got a journeyman against a prospect. This is 2 prospects, and they won't want to lose their own, and they would be willing to throw the kitchen sink at them to try and get that win. So Shinkwin just looking to counter. Good feet again from Shinkwin. Okay, the pace has just slowed. Nice 1-2 from Miles there. From the gloves of McIntyre. Nice left hook there from McIntyre. Rocks Shinkwin back onto the ropes. And that's where I think McIntyre's got to work. When they're in close like that, he's just got to try and wrestle his way through. Nice right hand there from McIntyre, banging the gloves from Shinkwin. That one got through there.
Yeah, Miles has to be careful, you know. It seems like Joe McIntyre will come in with strong shots.
score that round?
It was very tight also, you know. McIntyre just got to step it up. To Joel that one, but the thing is, he's got to step it up. He's now.
That's better for McIntyre. That's what he's got to do more of.
He's not going to outbox Miles. He has to apply a bit of pressure with accumulation of punches.
And that's what we were saying in the last round, and that's what he done better there. The 2-3 combination, he caught Shinkwin there, and he won't be able to single punch him. If he puts punches together like that, then he's got a chance of catching Miles. As you see there, that was a much better start from McIntyre. As we said before, as the rounds have gone on, McIntyre has closed that distance. Shinkwin isn't moving as much, so it'd be interesting to see. We was chatting beforehand, there's a lot of people saying that McIntyre's a tough kid. And Shinkwin taking a big golfer there. There's less work from Shinkwin so far. McIntyre is busier so far. And this could be part of the game plan, then.
It could be, but this is where Shinkwin has to keep popping the shots. To keep McIntyre up. A good shot there.
Lovely right hand again there from McIntyre, catching with 2 right hands. Shinkwin comes back with a 1-2, misses the left hook to the body. Better from McIntyre, looks more confident now. It's the first time either of them have done 10 scheduled rounds as well, so you don't know what. Sorry, McIntyre's scored 10 rounds twice before, and that could be part of it. Shinkwin hasn't done the 10 rounds, and that could be why McIntyre, the first couple of rounds, was quite happy to let Miles just do, knowing that the late round is going to come on. McIntyre been there before. Lovely jab from McIntyre. Watch the head back of Shinkwin, much better from McIntyre.
See, as the pace slows, he's shooting Joel McIntyre up.
This is what we said before, wasn't it? We said if Shinkwin was to be able to dance around, he'd be able to pick it off. Now it's slowed and he's not moving as much. McIntyre's getting up to him. He looks much fuller at the weight, McIntyre as well. It's a quieter round from Shinkwin. A much better round from McIntyre. Missing there from Shinkwin, just falling short. Left from McIntyre again. McIntyre fans up away to our right. Cheering much more. And the Miles fans away to our left, asking to push McIntyre back. A nice right to the body there from McIntyre. An uppercut from Shinkwin. There's the balance there, I think. I don't think he was hurt by the shot there, it was only a jab. There's less lateral body movement from Shinkwin so far. Nice 1-2 from Miles there, the crowd cheer up. Still got McIntyre ahead, a nice right to the body from McIntyre again. What a difference McIntyre's been this one.
That's it. It's taken a few rounds to get into it, but that's a good old 10 pro trick, you know. Sorry, 10 rounds of a pro trick.
Definitely a McIntyre round. I would imagine he's probably a McIntyre fan from that. It was a much better round from McIntyre there, but we only call it as we see it.
Looking forward to the Christian actually doing versus Freddie Turner fight. Done some good rounds for Christian for his fight. So thanks for that, Matt McCarthy, and let's go back to the action.
So that's excellent kit of tweets coming in. We like that one. We like to see how you're scoring the fight. we've been wrong before, Mane, haven't we?
Yeah, that's it. So just let us know your opinion and your views. As long as it ain't too cheeky, it's alright.
We're glad you're watching at home, we're glad you're interacting. We have been wrong. It was definitely McIntyre as he come into that last round there, and I think it might be a bit of a game plan. I think they might be looking to try and drag Miles into the later rounds. Miles never done any more than 6 rounds. He's gone from 6 to 10.